Hi guys, welcome to Daniel's Drone Tutorials. Today I'm going to be flying this small mini drone I picked up from JCar, which is like an electronics and hobby retail store. It's not actually branded, I can see, but I thought it would be just cool to show you guys this drone because I've had a lot of fun with this thing. Just on like a rainy day when you can't fly a proper drone outside, you can fly this little guy inside. And basically this is a review for this drone, but the things about that I'll be talking about this drone will apply to most small drones about this size. Okay, so we're going to open the box and have a look at this guy. Just pull it out. Okay, so it's got like a ducted fan design, 3-blade props, which is pretty nice, and the body looks pretty solid. Like, yeah, it's the battery's inbuilt, which is the only annoying thing about it, so you can't actually replace batteries. So yeah, the flight time is restricted to the amount it is. You can't exactly plug in another battery. Okay, so I'm now gonna clip this out here. Right, okay, so this is it here. So looking at the underside, it looks like it's got a little searchlight type thing on the front and a read light on the back. Yeah, so the battery, as I said, is inbuilt into the frame. I like its robust look. It's pretty solid feeling. So yeah, this should be able to stand a couple of crashes and bumps. Okay, so yeah, that's the drone. I'll pull. There, wait. Right. Okay, so this. Now inside the box, further inside, trying to tap them out. Okay, so this little box here. Okay, so. And how do you open this? Okay, so it looks like we've got a remote controller inside here and the manual, which is in here. Okay, so that's drone remote control and manual. And I think the other small little box should contain, yeah, basically the charger and the spare propellers. I like this design here because it means that you don't have to replace propellers and crashes so often because of, you know, the protectors that go all the way around them, and it also means less chance of catching in people's hair, although I'm sure that's still possible because the propellers are slightly above it, and you know, the nature of these things, crashing into people. Okay, so the charger just plugs into the tail of the drone like this. Right, where's the focus gone? Yeah, okay. The charger has little bumps there, and you turn that upside down, plug it in, and that basically charges the drone. Okay, for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put batteries in the remote controller, and we're going to charge this drone up and take it for a fly. So the remote controller requires 3 AAA batteries, so we'll just insert them in there. Close the hatch. Which way does it go? It goes that way. Okay, cool. Looks like the remote works. Let's put the drone on charge now. Okay, so the charger has a USB port. You just simply plug that into the side of your laptop. It'll go green. Then you take your drone right here and just simply plug it into there. Now this drone looks like it's already fully charged. I'll just check that we haven't received a dud. Nah, the lights go. Okay, so it's already fully charged. So that's why the light on here is green. If it was charging, if the battery was low, it will go red, and when it turned green, the battery would be ready. Right, I think this is time for our first flight, guys. Okay, guys, to turn on the drone, you just flick that switch at the back, and you also turn on the remote. I'm just going to place that down there on the ground, and turn off on that right switch. I'm going to hold that throttle stick down and let it pop back to center once the lights on here have gone solid. Next thing we're going to do is do the CSC command to take off, which is like this. That starts the motors. Another way of taking off would be to press this button here, which would basically just make the drone jump off the ground. I'm going to tilt the camera a wee bit up so you guys can see it flying. Okay, so that should be good. I'm going to take off. Here we are, hovering. Okay, so a bit about the remote controller. This button here, keep it in the center. I'll just trim it a little bit. There we are. This button here controls the speed, so that's as low speed. That's okay. So sorry, this is low speed. It's not very responsive and it's very slow. This is mid speed. This thing is not the fastest thing in the world, and this is high speed. Okay, so it's a bit more reactive on the controls. Okay, I'm just gonna get my drone because I crashed. So yeah, I might take that off again just by pushing that button. Okay, so drone's hovering. Headless mode is also right by the speed button on here, which is right here. This one here. That basically, headless mode means that forwardwards is always forwardwards. So even if you turn the drone round, forwardwards is still forwardwards. So I can turn it whatever way I want, and forwards and backwards and all the other controls will be the same. Because when you take it out of headless mode, you know, you push forwards and it goes forwards and relative to the drone, not to you. But as soon as you put it into headless mode, forwardwards, no matter what the orientation of the drone is, will go in and forwards and backwards in whatever direction you tell it to from there, so from you. So I'm just going to land this thing. I'm going to try and take this for a fly outside. So the this button here, yeah, does the takeoff, and on this one, this stick here, you push that in and hold this back to the corner to reset the gyroscope in the drone, and you also use that for trimming. So you click this in and you push it in the direction which you want to trim, which is quite nice, but not a lot nicer actually than just trying to click buttons on the remote controller to trim it, because you know that gets pretty annoying. Okay, I'm going to now do an outdoor test. The wind's looking reasonably calm. Another thing I was going to say about this thing that's a little bit disappointing actually is that it doesn't have 3D flips. Like, you know, it's actually missing that mode. So that's a little bit disappointing, but since how durable the drone is, it's not a huge thing to miss. But most days, most drones nowadays would have the flip feature, but this one obviously doesn't. So that's kind of weird, but that's fine. I don't miss that too much. Okay, I'm going to take this thing outside now. Okay guys, I'm now outside with my mini drone. First things first, I'm going to of course pair it, and then I'm going to put it into a high speed mode. The high speed mode uses a bit of wind, as you might be able to see, and this thing is pretty sensitive to wind. Okay, so I'm just going to put that into high speed mode. Okay, so it's in high speed mode now. I'm going to take off. Definitely not the most wind resistant drone around. It kind of can sometimes suffer from a gyroscope. You know, the wind gets too much for the gyroscope and it just drops from the sky because it confuses it too much. But other than that, it's quite a lot of fun, this little guy, in windless conditions. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to actually try and, you see that tree over there, I'm going to go over there and do a bit of flying around that, like kind of like, you know, FPV style. There's another one over there. My brother's coming with his drone. He's bought one as well. You know, these things are $45 and are pretty cheap really, to be honest, for this sort of thing. It's a real cool toy basically, just for flying around your backyard with your mates or something. Definitely nothing compared to a drone with brushless motors, however, as their performance is so much better. But yeah, these things have about 7 to 8 minutes of battery life. However, we've got actually about 10 minutes. out of them. But yeah, so it's kind of subjective to the way you're flying it and the conditions and everything. Okay, I'm going to do some racing around that tree. I'm going to race my brother around this tree here, just have a bit of fun. We haven't got like FPV setups on, like, you know, but these things don't have cameras, but we're going to try and do it dead reckoning style. Okay, I'm just going to land this thing. Oops, yeah, there we are. Right. That one we both crashed. Guys, thanks for watching this tutorial. If you like, whoa, yikes, that's dangerous creatures. But anyway, as I was saying, yikes. Right, if you like this tutorial, guys, please subscribe and leave a comment about how I could possibly improve this tutorial. And one thing I wanted to tell you as well, which is probably really kind of quite obvious, is that when the drone's battery starts going flat, you'll see the red light at the back starts flashing, and the white one at the front stays still, so it's not that noticeable. But you know, you can see that starts flashing when the battery starts going flat. So shortly after that starts flashing, I'd recommend you put it on the charger. Anyway, okay, so thanks for watching this video, guys. Looking forward to seeing you next time.